Lovely being. It is lovely to be out here with you on another glorious Wellington morning. Aren't those clouds glorious? Looks like somebody's painted them. Except that they're moving, but yeah. It's cool, it's brisk, it's quite calm. It is the very best of a Wellington day. And let's enjoy these flowers because aren't they fabulous? There we go. Good morning, Mike. I just got to enjoy these while they're here. Get a bit closer. They are fabulous. These are Amaryllis belladonna is the fancy name, otherwise known as naked ladies, because they have these big tall stems. That's me. And they come up and you can just see the leaves starting later. So that's what amaryllis do. And we have lots of pink ones, and whatever it is that loves to eat them, really loves to eat them. Good morning, Abigail. But they're still fabulous. And look, I've got some more wild coriander here. I love this this foliage, you know. I mean, a lot of us are used to eating cilantro is what it's called when it's the leaf, and then the seed is coriander. But look, it goes all feathery, and you can see the little flowers just starting there. So I like to have it growing wild because it's not just a nice thing to eat, it's beautiful. And it's easy to pull out if you have it where you don't want it, which as a gardener I appreciate. What else have we got here? Remember this? Oh my goodness, I've still got to deadhead this. I don't really want a million of them. This is the cassia plant, and the nicest thing is that it smells good. If you do this, it's beautiful. I reckon self-healing is real, Abigail. I'm experiencing healing at the moment. I should probably tell you about that in a minute. Laura, it's great to see you. And Eric, I know you won't be far away, so good morning to both of you. So the nice thing about the cassia plant, and look, there's a couple of late flowers here, a bit chewed, but there it is that the leaves, you rub your hand over them, they smell beautiful. Funny thing is, as soon as you pick them, the smell goes away, so it has to be on the tree, or it has to be on the plant. And look, we've got some unseasonal campanula flowers. This one never really stops. It just keeps going. And there's the back garden. Good morning, Jen. The terraces that I built 2 or 3 years ago now, and the cabbage tree, which is actually, believe it or not, related to the lilies. It's a kind of lily, but it's a tree. Here's the lemon with lemons on it. Who knew? Really happy lemons. So yeah, this is the morning, and it's just beautiful. There's the house. So privileged to have a house. Don't take it for granted. And because it's going to get mowed eventually, look at the clover. Isn't it beautiful? And we've still got some Johnson's blue geranium there as well. I love wildflowers. And those iris are going to be really interesting next spring. I don't know what colour they are. I have some ideas, but we're all going to find out together. So, turning the camera around today. What did I say? I'm experiencing healing, yeah. And I will do this quickly. So, how do I do this quickly? Because I want to get to my topic. But for the last, I don't know, probably 3 years, I've had this problem with my gut. It just slowed down and slowed down and slowed down. And I did various things, and it turned out not to be digestive enzymes. I just need to take magnesium salts, and I dissolve it in kombucha, which makes it taste quite fine, because taking magnesium salts in water is foul. And as long as I take enough, everything moves, which is great, because if it doesn't, it's really unpleasant. And so I've just been working with this, and for a long time I was thinking, oh geez, there's something wrong. Do I have cancer growing in there? Because, one of the reasons why your gut can stop is because you got cancer. And despite what my brain was trying to tell me, my heart was saying, no, there's no problem. There's no problem. It's just incoherence. And so I kept on trusting my heart, because I would check, and I know what my heart tells me is true. I really do trust it now. And so for a while, I just had to overcome the fact that parts of me were saying, oh, should you be worried? Should you go and do this? And I knew that if I went down the whole diagnosis route, it would create a whole ton of stress, and there'd be nothing there anyway. So I just kept working with myself and my fears. And a little while ago, I overcame my fears. I don't know when. I just stopped being the person that worried about that potential future. And I've carried on doing the healing, carried on doing the work, carried on doing the meditation work that I've learned with Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is amazing. And more recently, I've had an opportunity. I've had a lot of very old pain come up and surface and depart. And I felt it moving out of my belly. Because it's all, sorrow and suffering and all of those things live literally in the second energy centre, which runs your digestion. And as those things are shifted, it's healing. Just healing. It's improving. Slowly, incrementally, but really noticeably. I have to take less magnesium salts now, and it still works. So that's great. I'm healing. Because the emotion that's been sitting in my body all this time, which created the problem, is leaving, and that means that now my genes can express themselves differently and I get better gut function. So it happens. The self-healing is real, Abigail. Well done. You've overcome some aspect of yourself that literally did not want to see the world. And the more you want to see what the world is and what your life is and who you are and whatever it was that you found too painful to see before, the better your vision will be. Don't believe what the doctors tell you. It's just what is normal and natural and what people expect based on past experience. But that doesn't have anything to do with what we're capable of. Okay, enough said about that. Had to take that diversion just to tell you that it's true. And just to place an emphasis on it, we had a little bump in the interweb there. Okay, so today, last night actually, I was hunting. I was sort of ranging around thinking what I'm going to talk about on Thursday. And I just had a thought, I'll go and look in a group and see if somebody asks a question there that grabs my attention. Sometimes that's what I do. And so I went to this place where I've been having a pleasant conversation with somebody who's lovely. And I went to the group instead of that particular post where I've been having the conversation. And lo and behold, the very first post I saw was a question. And it and this is the result. It was a question that basically said, hey, I've had a hell of a week. What the hell is wrong? Is it the new moon? What the hell? And there wasn't a great sense of, I'm miserable and my life is awful. It was just, what the hell is going on here? So I decided to come up with my own response to that. And so when I thought about it, what it really is that it's as simple as when you're a kid and you put your hand on something hot or you stick your finger in the power socket, if you can do that, which is fairly hard to do really. But you do something that hurts, right? You have a physical experience and then you have an emotional experience about it. And so it is very natural, and this is the way the brain works. It gets sensory information, and then because the sensory information hits the brain, things fire, you get chemistry, you have a visceral emotional reaction, response, experience as a result of that input. Input, output, stimulus, response. So the child says, oh, that's a bad thing to do again. I don't like that. If I do that, I feel this way. So we very naturally correlate external experiences with how we feel inside. Nothing wrong with that. It's how you navigate in 3 dimensions. The problem with that is that it's only half of the story, and we get programmed very early in life just by circumstances and because, if you don't eat, you will die, and if you don't have shelter when it rains, you will get wet. I mean, cause and effect is really obvious, right? But we think that's all there is. We think that how we feel inside ourselves is a result of everything that happens to us. And that was me. Up to about 4 years ago when I started to sort of think, really? With a great deal of, if that's so, bugger me, I don't know how to change it. Chanel, it's lovely to see you, morena. it was a big thing for me to swallow, because how I felt as a result of all the reasons that I could point to in my life, or, the stars or the runes or what the doctor said or what that person did or that situation or this failure or whatever it is, we can all come up with 1,000 reasons why we get to feel the way we do. And it's all logical and rational and reasonable, and a lot of it is absolutely justified. If somebody beats you up, well, you were victimised. You did have a bad experience. But what happens is that we get stuck in those things, and they become the way we define ourselves. And oh my God, I've just been moving out of some things that have defined me for a long time. This morning, that's why I was late. Powerful experience, body releasing energy. Couldn't just get up after I'd finished and carry on. It's like, no, you got to stay here and let this work. We get stuck in them. And because we're so stuck in that happened and this is how I feel and I'm still living it, I'm still feeling it 50 years later, we think that's all there is. And that we can't change how we feel independent of our circumstances. And so we're always looking for the reason why we feel the way we feel. And the bottom line is, like I said yesterday, when you have the reaction of falling over and skinning your knee as a kid and it hurts, and kids, if the parent responds in the right way, which is not to go, oh my God, little Johnny, it's so awful, and most parents are just, pick up the kid, dust them off, comfort them. It's gone. Did you ever notice how quickly they move through it? Young kids, they scream, they cry, 90 to 120 seconds they're over it. Why is that? Because the chemical reaction that happens in your brain when you go, ow, is over in 90 to 120 seconds. That's it. If it persists after that, we're keeping it going. And more than that, we keep finding evidence and justification and reasons in our world for why to keep it going, because, as I've said so many times, our bodies become accustomed to that chemistry of suffering or anger or drama or difficulty or whatever it is. We literally become addicted to the life that we don't even want to keep on living. Now, I don't mean that intellectually you're saying to yourself, oh my God, I really want to keep on being miserable. I really want to feel like I'm just purging and having crap come up, and this is just my life, that crap comes up and I have to keep overcoming it, and I'm this wounded warrior, and it becomes your identity, right? And you think that's who you are and how your life is, and I know what that's like. Not that particular one, but something close to it. But we are actually biochemically, not intellectually, but biochemically, we are conditioned at a cellular level to that chemistry. And even when you want to do something else, because you've decided you'd had enough of feeling like crap and having drama and difficulty in your life all the time and wondering if it's because of the stars or because, your ex hurt you 5.5 years ago or whatever it is, what you don't realise is that you want to do something different with your mind, and your body is saying, you conditioned me into the past and I am stuck there. And when you start thinking different thoughts and trying to have different feelings and different experiences, I'm going to dig through your past when you're just getting along through your day and push a whole lot of nasty thoughts up into your head because I want the chemistry that's associated with them. That's literally what happens. I've experienced it many times. That's the truth. It's not just your brain talks to your body can talk to your brain, and it does it that way because it wants what it wants. It wants what it's used to. So, we get conditioned to the idea that something outside of us is the reason why we feel the way we feel inside of us, and that's not true. It can be incredibly difficult to think greater than you feel. Or to feel greater than you think, to change your feelings independent of your circumstances. Now, why is that so hard? Because of that chemistry that I just told you about. Your cells are used to getting the chemistry of drama. And one day you decide you're not going to have drama anymore. You're just done with it and over it. Had enough. But your cells, they still want drama. They're accustomed to drama. It's what they eat, drink, think, talk, do. At a cellular level, your cells are the drama queen or king. And so what it means is that there's a gap between how you're thinking and how your body is habitually feeling, and you have to decide if you are the mind or if your body is going to continue to be your mind and continue to say, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. You have to visit your mother-in-law tomorrow. You have to go to work and be with that person you can't stand. You're sick, whatever it is, to use that reason to continue to affirm the emotional experience that you've just been having for however long. That's actually how it works. We use our circumstances or whatever it is, we give our power away, as Dr. Joe says, to a planet. And people do. They do. They give their power away to whatever that reader said to them. May have been accurate at the time, doesn't mean it's set in concrete. They give their power away to their past, to what happened to them. Say, well, this happened to me, and it was so traumatic, I can't get over it. And, and I understand how that happens. Yeah, it is. It's a great decision, and it can feel like a race because it can be really intense and all the time, Laura. I know what you're talking about. We either choose to make the choice about who we want to be in each moment, or we let the body be the mind for us, and then we're stuck in automatic, doing and being the way that we may not necessarily want to do and be anymore. And, this is pretty, wow, really? You mean I can actually overcome those shitty feelings that I'm so used to feeling that I just think they're who I am and they're not me, and I can have other feelings? Speaking from experience, hell yes. Is it easy? Hell no. Is it worth doing? Hell yeah. Heaven yeah. God. So, the whole point being that when shit comes down in your life, it is very human to say, what the hell happened? How come this is happening to me? What did I do wrong? Or whatever it was. You look for a reason why it is that way. We do. But that's actually, even if, okay, let's say that somebody says, well, I've just done your cards and, you've got this thing and that thing and that thing, or you were, in a previous life you had this happen, and you completely understand intellectually what's going on. It doesn't do diddly to help you change it, does it? And in fact, I'm feeling betrayed, and well, it turns out that, Julius Caesar had my parents killed and I was angry, whatever, whatever story it is, you can say, well, that's the reason why I feel betrayed and why I can't move through my betrayal, and, you should just all walk around me and look after me and not make me feel betrayed. Well, now you've given your power away to a past life that may or may not be real, and to everybody around you who was certainly going to betray you, because that's the energy you're putting out, and things that are the same as you are going to find you. It's so powerful. So knowing why isn't particularly helpful. What's much more important is to decide, okay, shit, I'm in the middle of all of this drama. Hang on, do I want to put my attention on all this drama and difficulty? Not really. What the hell do I actually want? Oh. Geez, I'm not really used to thinking about what I actually want. And I tell you, the first time somebody asked me that, when I think I was 21 at the time, I didn't have an answer because I was so used to generating, everything in me was really about just keeping other people happy. And I understand that. It was very important for me to keep other people happy. It was a matter of survival. So the first time I was asked that question, I had no answer. It took me, So as much as we want to know, why is this happening to me? It's irrelevant. It doesn't help you to know. What's important is, what do you want to have happen? How do you want to be? What kind of people do you want in your life? What do you want to change? What do you want to let go of? How healthy do you want to be? How abundant do you want to be? And put your energy and your attention onto that. Now, why am I blithering on? I have only just started blithering on about putting your energy and attention into the things you want. Well, it turns out, if you, for example, think about something that makes you feel good, literally in your brain, the circuits in your brain that are activated, they come alive, they get energy. There's blood flow in that part of the brain, just like if you move your hand, there's blood flow in the part of the motor cortex that's to do with the hand. Literally, where your attention goes is where the energy in your body flows, both blood flow and energy and activity. It's literal. So if you keep analysing and worrying and trying to work out what the problems are, all you're doing is firing and putting energy into circuits that are about problems and difficulties, and you can't see outside of that box. You're just thinking inside the box of the problem. So if you want to create a different something different to what, was it Einstein who said you can't create the problem to a solution until you get out, you got to get beyond the thinking that created the problem to start with. I'm not quoting him properly, but, that's the essence of the thing. And it's true. There's no point analysing the problem. You have to create a new self. And that might be as simple as saying, well, at the moment I've got a cold and I feel like crap, but I'm going to put my attention on the fact that I'm going to get better. And when I get better, I'm going to feel like this and I'm going to do this. And you put your attention there, and those are the circuits you're firing. And because your thought has a direct chemical effect on your body, if you keep thinking those appropriate thoughts and it's not, I'm going to feel better and I'm going to feel wonderful, that's not actually going to do it, because when you're doing that, the thoughts are there and your body is still going, yeah, I'm not, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm sick, right? It may start like that. I've had the experience myself of gritting my teeth and saying the thing, but I've got better at drumming up the emotions. The emotions are what create the change. And there's so much to understand. And, the emotions are much more than chemical. They shift your energy. They shift your vibration. And so instead of walking into a room full of people and thinking, oh, everyone's going to betray me, they're all out to get me, and that's the vibration that you attract, right? If you walk into a room actually feeling truly in yourself, or even to some degree, that the world is a safe and friendly place, for example, and you got to get into the new reality, you got to step out of the TARDIS as somebody else, well, then you're going to have different experiences because it's you that's changed. And this is the punchline, which hopefully makes sense now and doesn't just come as a slap. It's you that's created all of it. Lovingly and with benevolence and with the best intent at soul level for your growth. So that you can see who you're being. So that if you choose, you can get into the TARDIS and become somebody else. That's what it's for. That's the only reason there's drama in your life, is because you're creating it lovingly to say, hey, dude, do that. Wake up. This is who you're being. This is what you're creating. Who do you want to be? And yeah, if you want some help about who you want to be, I'm good at that. I do coach. And enough said, contact me if you're interested. There are options. But this is it. It's you, honey. You and me, we create everything. It's not to punish ourselves. It's because we got to grow. And the soul's interest is growth, is evolution. And every moment we are faced with the choice of who we're going to be. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.